The cold, silent expanse of space was suddenly pierced by the emergence of the UNS Starfire from warp. The sleek, state-of-the-art warship was humanity's latest and most advanced vessel, and it was on a mission that would test every bit of its technology and the mettle of its crew. Captain Amelia Drake, a seasoned officer known for her strategic brilliance and unwavering courage, stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the holographic display of their target, the alien fleet of the Drexar Empire. Mission briefing. All hands, this is Captain Drake, she announced, her voice steady and authoritative. We have intercepted a Drexar fleet heading towards our colonies. Our mission is to intercept and neutralize this threat before they can cause any harm. Remember, we are the first and last line of defense. Let's show them what humanity is made of. The crew responded with a unified, "Aye, Captain." The sense of determination and camaraderie was palpable. They had trained for this moment, and they were ready to defend their home, their families, and their very way of life. Preparing for battle. Lieutenant Commander Raj Patel, the ship's tactical officer, quickly assessed their situation. Captain, all systems are green. Weapons are primed. Shields are at full strength, and the crew is at battle stations. Captain Drake nodded. Good. Open a channel to the Drexar fleet. A moment later, the face of Admiral Korath, the Drexar fleet commander, appeared on the screen. His expression was one of disdain mixed with curiosity. Human vessel, you are outmatched and outnumbered. Surrender now, and you will be spared. First contact. Captain Drake's eyes narrowed. Admiral Korath, this is Captain Amelia Drake of the UNS Starfire. You are violating human space. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences. Korath's laugh was cold and mocking. Very well, human. Prepare to be destroyed. The communication cut off abruptly. Captain Drake turned to her crew. All hands, battle stations. This is it. The initial assault. The Drexar fleet moved first, their ships advancing in a tight formation, weapons blazing. The Starfire responded with a precision that only human ingenuity and advanced AI integration could achieve. Railguns roared to life, and torpedoes streaked across the void, finding their marks with deadly accuracy. Target their lead destroyer, Drake commanded. We need to disrupt their formation. Tactics and strategy. Patel nodded and coordinated the attack. The Starfire's advanced targeting systems locked onto the Drexar destroyer, and within moments, it was engulfed in a series of explosions. The Drexar formation wavered, giving the Starfire a crucial opening. Maintain pressure, Drake ordered. We can't let them regroup. As the battle raged on, it became clear that the Drexar had underestimated their human opponents. The Starfire's crew operated with seamless coordination, their advanced technology giving them an edge over the numerically superior Drexar fleet. A turning point. Amidst the chaos, the Drexar flagship began to maneuver towards the Starfire, its massive cannons charging up for a devastating blow. Captain Drake saw the danger and made a quick decision. Patel, focus all fire on that flagship. We need to take it down before it can fire. The Starfire's railguns and torpedoes concentrated on the Drexar flagship. The battle reached a fever pitch, with both sides exchanging heavy fire. Finally, the Starfire's relentless assault broke through the flagship's shields, and a series of explosions ripped through its hull. Victory and reflection. The destruction of their flagship was a crippling blow to the Drexar fleet. Their ships began to retreat, the surviving vessels fleeing back into the darkness of space. Captain Drake allowed herself a small, triumphant smile. "Status report," she requested. "Minimal damage to our systems," Patel replied. "Casualties are light." "We did it, Captain." Drake nodded. "Excellent work, everyone. Prepare to send a message to Earth. Let them know that the Starfire has successfully repelled the Drexar threat." As the crew began their post-battle routines, Captain Drake looked out into the vastness of space. They had won this battle, but she knew the war was far from over. The Drexar would return, and they would be ready. Humanity's resilience and ingenuity had carried them through this day, and it would continue to be their greatest strength in the battles to come. The gathering storm. Strategic preparations. Back on Earth, the news of the Starfire's victory spread quickly. Humanity celebrated, but the leaders of the United Nations Space Command knew that this was only the beginning. In the war room, General Elena Torres reviewed the latest intelligence reports. The Drexar were amassing a much larger fleet, and this time they were not taking any chances. Admiral Graves, Torres began, turning to the commander of Earth's space fleet. We need to fortify our defenses and prepare for the next wave. The Drexar won't make the same mistake twice. Graves nodded. We're already mobilizing our forces. The Starfire will be reinforced by the UNS Defiant and the UNS Resolute. We'll establish a defensive perimeter around our key colonies and installations, building the defense. Meanwhile, on the Starfire, Captain Drake and her crew were preparing for the next encounter. The ship had returned to the orbital shipyard for repairs and upgrades. The crew took the opportunity to rest and regroup, but the looming threat of the Drexar invasion weighed heavily on everyone's minds. Lieutenant Samara Chen, the ship's engineer, oversaw the installation of new defensive systems. Captain, we're upgrading the shields and adding more point defense turrets. We'll be ready for them. Drake appreciated the engineer's dedication. Good work, Chen. We'll need every advantage we can get. Intelligence and espionage. In the shadows, a different kind of battle was being fought. Agent Ethan Ward, a top intelligence officer, was deep behind enemy lines, gathering crucial information on the Drexar's plans. His latest report arrived encrypted and highly classified. General Torres, we've intercepted Drexar communications. They're planning a simultaneous attack on multiple fronts. We need to anticipate their moves and spread our forces accordingly. Torres frowned. This complicates things, but it's not unexpected. We'll need to rely on our intelligence network to stay ahead of them. The calm before the storm. As the days passed, the tension grew. On the Starfire, Captain Drake addressed her crew. We faced them once and emerged victorious. This time, we're not alone. Remember, we're fighting for everyone back home. Stay sharp and trust in our training and technology. The crew responded with a resolute "Aye, Captain." They knew the stakes were higher than ever, but they were ready. Alliance and diplomacy. In an unexpected turn of events, a delegation from the Zorani, a peaceful alien race, arrived on Earth. The Zorani had been neutral in the conflict, but they had seen the Drexar's ruthlessness firsthand and were now willing to offer their support. Ambassador Lyra spoke to the United Nations Assembly. We wish to stand with humanity against the Drexar threat. Together, we can ensure a future where all species can coexist in peace. General Torres welcomed their aid. Your support is invaluable. We will integrate your technology and knowledge with our defenses. A unified front. With the combined might of humanity and their new allies, the preparations for the impending Drexar assault reached their final stages. On the Starfire, Captain Drake received new orders. Captain, the Drexar fleet is on the move. You and your task force are to intercept and delay them. Reinforcements will follow. Drake acknowledged the gravity of the situation. Understood, Admiral Graves. We won't let them through. As the Starfire and its sister ships moved into position, the crew felt a mix of anticipation and resolve. The battle that lay ahead would be their greatest challenge yet, but they were united in their mission. Final preparations. In the moments before the Drexar fleet arrived, Captain Drake took a deep breath and addressed her crew one last time. This is it, everyone. Our chance to show the Drexar what humanity and our allies are capable of. We fight not just for ourselves, but for the future of all free beings in the galaxy. The crew's response was a thunderous cheer. They were ready. The invasion begins. As the first Drexar ships emerged from warp, the Starfire's sensors lit up with activity. Captain Drake stood tall on the bridge, her eyes filled with determination. All hands, battle stations. Let's show them what we're made of. The second battle for humanity's survival had begun, and the Starfire was once again at the forefront, leading the charge against the forces of darkness. Allies and adversaries. The arrival of reinforcements. The Starfire and its accompanying ships were soon joined by the Zorani fleet. Their sleek silver vessels were equipped with advanced technology that could turn the tide in favor of humanity. As the combined forces took their positions, the Drexar fleet loomed on the horizon, an ominous force ready to strike. Ambassador Lyra communicated with Captain Drake. "Our ships are ready to support your efforts. Together, we can repel this invasion." Drake nodded, feeling a surge of confidence. "Thank you, Ambassador. Let's show them the strength of our alliance." First contact. The Drexar fleet wasted no time in launching their attack. Waves of fighters and bombers surged towards the human and Zorani ships. The Starfire's railguns and laser turrets lit up the darkness of space, taking down enemy ships with pinpoint accuracy. Lieutenant Patil coordinated the defense. "Focus fire on their lead ships. We need to break their formation." Zorani technology. The Zorani ships demonstrated their advanced capabilities, deploying energy shields that absorbed the Drexar's attacks and retaliating with powerful plasma cannons. The sight of the two fleets working in unison was a testament to the potential of interspecies cooperation. Captain Drake marveled at their effectiveness. "Patil, learn everything you can from the Zorani tactics. We need to integrate their techniques into our strategy." Boarding the enemy. As the battle raged, Captain Drake saw an opportunity. Launch the boarding pods. Target the Drexar command ship. A team of elite Marines, led by Sergeant Harper, prepared to board the Drexar vessel. "We're ready, Captain. We'll disable their command structure and gather intel." The boarding pods streaked towards the enemy ship, breaching its hull and deploying the Marines into the heart of the Drexar command. Inside, fierce close-quarters combat ensued, with the human Marines showcasing their training and resilience. Turning the tide. Sergeant Harper's team fought their way to the Drexar command center, where they confronted Admiral Korath. "This ends now," Harper declared, engaging the Drexar leader in a brutal hand-to-hand fight. Despite the Admiral's formidable strength, Harper's determination and combat skills prevailed. With Korath subdued, the Drexar command structure was thrown into disarray. Regrouping. Back on the Starfire, Captain Drake received the news. Harper's team has succeeded. The Drexar command ship is neutralized. Drake seized the moment. "All ships, focus your fire on the remaining Drexar vessels. Press the attack." With their command in chaos, the Drexar fleet began to falter. The combined firepower of the human and Zorani ships overwhelmed them, and the tide of battle shifted decisively in favor of the defenders. A decisive victory. As the last of the Drexar ships were destroyed or fled, a cheer erupted across the Starfire's bridge. Captain Drake allowed herself a moment of relief and pride. "We did it. We've won." Lieutenant Patil smiled. "The Drexar won't recover from this. We've bought humanity and our allies some much-needed time." Aftermath. In the aftermath of the battle, the Starfire and the Zorani fleet began recovery operations. Ambassador Lyra spoke to Captain Drake. "Your bravery and leadership have saved countless lives. We are honored to stand with humanity." Drake nodded. "The honor is ours, Ambassador. Together, we've shown that unity and cooperation are our greatest strengths." Looking ahead, as the fleets regrouped and began planning their next moves, Captain Drake addressed her crew one last time. "This victory is just the beginning. We've proven that we can stand against any threat, but the war is far from over. We must remain vigilant and ready." The crew's response was unanimous and resolute. They knew the road ahead would be challenging, but they were prepared to face it with the same determination and courage that had seen them through the darkest days. The battle for survival would continue, but humanity and their allies had taken a crucial step forward. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their quest for peace and freedom. The counteroffensive. planning the next move. With the Drexar threat temporarily neutralized, Captain Drake and her crew had a moment to catch their breath. But the reprieve was short-lived. Intelligence reports indicated that the Drexar were regrouping for a massive counteroffensive. In a high-level strategy meeting, Admiral Graves outlined their plan. "We need to take the fight to the Drexar. We can't afford to wait for them to attack again. Captain Drake, your mission is to lead a strike force deep into Drexar territory, disrupt their supply lines, and weaken their capacity to wage war." Assembling the strike force. The Starfire was joined by the UNS Defiant and the UNS Resolute, along with several Zorani ships. This strike force was equipped for a high-risk, high-reward operation. Their goal: to cripple the Drexar's war machine. Lieutenant Commander Patel briefed the crew. "We're targeting their main supply depot. Without it, their fleet will be crippled. It's heavily defended, so expect fierce resistance." Journey into enemy territory. As the strike force entered Drexar space, the tension on the bridge was palpable. Every sensor was on high alert, scanning for any sign of the enemy. Captain Drake remained focused. "Stay sharp, everyone. We're deep in enemy territory now." The ambush. Halfway to their target, the strike force was ambushed by a Drexar patrol fleet. The Starfire's sensors lit up with hostile signatures, and the battle began. The human and Zorani ships formed a defensive perimeter, returning fire with precision and ferocity. "Target their command ship," Drake ordered. "If we take it out, the rest will scatter." The Starfire's railguns focused on the Drexar command ship, and within moments, it was engulfed in flames. The remaining Drexar ships, now leaderless, were quickly dispatched. Reaching the supply depot. After the ambush, the strike force pressed on, finally reaching the Drexar supply depot. The sight of the massive installation filled the view screen. It was a sprawling complex, heavily guarded and vital to the Drexar war effort. Captain Drake formulated their plan of attack. "We'll split into two groups. The Starfire and the Defiant will lead the assault. The Resolute and the Zorani ships will provide cover and handle any reinforcements. The assault begins." The Starfire led the charge, its weapons blazing. The Drexar defenses were formidable, but the combined might of the human and Zorani ships proved overwhelming. The depot's shields began to falter under the relentless assault. "Focus fire on their power generators," Patel directed. "Once those are down, the depot will be defenseless." The coordinated attack soon paid off. Explosions rocked the depot as the power generators were destroyed. Without power, the Drexar defenses crumbled. Securing the depot. With the depot defenseless, boarding parties were deployed to secure the facility and gather intelligence. Sergeant Harper's team once again led the charge, encountering pockets of Drexar resistance, but quickly overpowering them. "Captain, we've secured the main control room," Harper reported. "We're downloading their entire database. This will give us a huge advantage." Mission accomplished. Back on the Starfire, Captain Drake received the update. "Excellent work, Harper. All ships, prepare for extraction. We're done here." As the strike force regrouped and prepared to leave, the mood was one of triumph and relief. They had struck a significant blow to the Drexar war machine. The journey home. The return journey was uneventful, but the crew remained on high alert. They knew the Drexar would seek retribution, but they were ready for whatever came next. Upon returning to friendly space, the strike force was hailed as heroes. Celebration and reflection. Admiral Graves addressed the assembled crews. "Today, we've shown the Drexar that we are not merely defenders but formidable opponents. Your bravery and skill have given humanity and our allies a fighting chance." Captain Drake looked at her crew with pride. "We've accomplished something incredible, but the war is far from over. We must remain vigilant and continue to push forward." Looking to the future. With the Drexar supply lines disrupted, humanity and their allies had gained a crucial advantage. But they knew the fight was not over. The Drexar would regroup, and the battles ahead would be even more challenging. Captain Drake stood on the bridge of the Starfire, gazing out into the vastness of space. We've taken a step forward today, but we must keep moving. The future of humanity depends on our strength and resilience. The crew nodded in agreement, ready for whatever lay ahead. They had proven their mettle, and they were prepared to face the next challenge with unwavering determination. The Drexer counterattack. A new threat emerges. Despite the recent victories, the Drexer were far from defeated. Intelligence reports indicated that they were planning a massive counterattack, targeting key human and allied installations across the sector. The threat was imminent, and preparations began immediately. Fortifying defenses. Admiral Graves coordinated the defense efforts. We need to fortify our key installations and prepare for a coordinated defense. Captain Drake, the Starfire will be positioned at the frontline outpost, where we expect the heaviest attack. Drake acknowledged the orders. Understood, Admiral. We'll be ready. Preparing for the onslaught. On the Starfire, the crew worked tirelessly to prepare for the impending battle. New defensive measures were installed, and the ship's systems were fine-tuned for maximum efficiency. Captain Drake addressed her crew, instilling confidence and determination. We faced the Drexer before and emerged victorious. This time, we'll show them that we're even stronger. Trust in our training, our technology, and each other. The calm before the storm. As the Starfire and its allies took their positions, the tension was palpable. The vastness of space seemed even more foreboding, knowing that a massive Drexer fleet was on its way. Every sensor was on high alert, scanning for the first signs of the enemy. Lieutenant Commander Patil monitored the sensors. Captain, long-range scans are picking up multiple warp signatures. The Drexer fleet is approaching. The battle begins. The Drexer fleet emerged from warp, a massive force that filled the view screen. Admiral Graves communicated with the fleet. All ships, engage the enemy. Hold the line at all costs. The Starfire's weapons lit up, and the battle began in earnest. The void of space was filled with the exchange of laser fire, railgun projectiles, and explosions. The human and allied ships fought with determination and precision. Tactical maneuvers. Captain Drake's strategic brilliance shone through. Focus on their lead ships, disrupt their formation, and create openings for our counterattacks. The Starfire and its allies executed the plan flawlessly, targeting the Drexer command ships and causing chaos in their ranks. Despite being outnumbered, their superior tactics and technology began to turn the tide. A critical moment. Amidst the chaos, a Drexer dreadnought began a flanking maneuver, threatening to break through the human lines. Drake saw the danger and acted quickly. Patil, target that dreadnought. We can't let them break our formation. The Starfire's weapons focused on the dreadnought, engaging in a fierce battle. The ship shuddered under the impact of the Drexer's heavy fire, but its shields held firm. The concentrated attack soon breached the dreadnought's defenses, causing a series of explosions that crippled the massive vessel. Rallying the troops. With the dreadnought neutralized, the human and allied forces regained their momentum. Admiral Graves's voice came over the comms. Excellent work, Starfire. All ships pressed the attack. The coordinated assault pushed the Drexer fleet back, their formation breaking under the relentless onslaught. The battle raged on, but the tide was turning in favor of humanity and their allies. Victory and loss. After hours of intense combat, the Drexer fleet began to retreat. The combined efforts of the human and allied ships had proven too much for them. Cheers erupted across the Starfire as the last of the Drexer ships flooded into the darkness of space. Assessing the aftermath, Captain Drake surveyed the damage. Status report. Patel. Shields are holding at 50%, minor damage to the hull, and casualties are light. We did it, Captain. Drake nodded, feeling a mix of relief and exhaustion. Good work, everyone. Begin recovery operations and prepare a report for Admiral Graves. Looking forward. As the crew of the Starfire began their post-battle routines, Captain Drake knew that the war was far from over. The Drexer would regroup and return, But humanity had shown their resilience and strength once again. A message of hope. In a broadcast to all ships, Admiral Graves spoke. Today, we faced a formidable enemy and emerged victorious. But this is just one battle in a larger war. We must remain vigilant and ready. Together, we will continue to stand against any threat and protect our home. Captain Drake looked out into the vast expanse of space, her resolve stronger than ever. We've proven our strength today, but the fight continues. We'll face whatever comes next with courage and determination. The crew echoed her sentiment, ready to face the challenges ahead. The battle for survival would continue, but they were prepared, united, and determined to protect their future. The Alliance strikes back. A new mission. With the Drexar temporarily pushed back, humanity and their allies took the opportunity to plan their next move. Intelligence reports indicated that a key Drexar base was vulnerable to attack. This presented a rare opportunity to strike at the heart of their operations and further weaken their ability to wage war. Strategic planning. In a high-level meeting, Admiral Graves outlined the plan. We've identified a Drexar base that's critical to their supply chain. Captain Drake, the Starfire, will lead a strike force to neutralize this base. Success will significantly disrupt their operations. Drake acknowledged the orders. Understood, Admiral. We'll make sure they know they're not safe anywhere. Preparing the strike force. The Starfire was joined by the UNS Defiant, the UNS Resolute, and several Zorani ships. The strike force was equipped with the latest technology and weaponry, ready for a high-stakes mission deep into enemy territory. Lieutenant Commander Patel briefed the crew. Our target is heavily defended, but we have the element of surprise. We'll hit them hard and fast. Journey into hostile space. As the strike force entered Drexar space, the tension on the bridge was palpable. Every sensor was on high alert, scanning for any sign of the enemy. Captain Drake remained focused. Stay sharp, everyone. We're deep in enemy territory now. First contact. Upon reaching the Drexar base, the strike force initiated their attack. The Starfire's weapons roared to life, targeting the base's defenses. The Drexar were caught off guard, their initial response chaotic and uncoordinated. Target their power generators, Drake ordered. We need to disable their defenses quickly. A fierce battle. The battle was intense, with both sides exchanging heavy fire. The Drexar base was well defended, but the coordinated assault from the human and Zorani ships began to take its toll. The base's shields flickered and then failed under the relentless barrage. Sergeant Harper led a team of Marines to board the base and secure vital intelligence. We're in, Captain. Engaging Drexar forces now. Securing the base. Inside the base, Harper's team fought through Drexar soldiers, making their way to the control center. The fighting was brutal, but the Marines' training and determination saw them through. They secured the control center and began downloading critical data. Captain, we've secured the control center. Data download in progress, Harper reported. The turning point. With the base's defenses down and their command structure in disarray, the Drexar forces began to falter. The strike force pressed their advantage, targeting key installations and infrastructure within the base. Patel monitored the progress. Captain, we're making significant progress. Their capacity to fight is crumbling. A decisive victory. After hours of intense combat, the Drexar base was neutralized. The remaining enemy forces surrendered or fled, leaving the strike force victorious. The data retrieved by Harper's team provided valuable intelligence on the Drexar's future plans. The journey home. As the strike force made their way back to friendly space, the mood was one of triumph and relief. They had struck a significant blow to the Drexar's war effort, buying humanity and their allies much-needed time. A hero's welcome. Upon returning to Earth, the strike force was hailed as heroes. Admiral Graves addressed the assembled crews. Today, we've dealt a critical blow to the Drexar. Your bravery and skill have given us a significant advantage. But the fight is not over. We must remain vigilant and prepared. reflection, and resolve. Captain Drake looked at her crew with pride. We've accomplished something incredible, but our mission is far from over. We must continue to push forward and protect our future. Looking to the future, with the Drexer base neutralized and valuable intelligence in hand, humanity and their allies had gained a crucial advantage. But they knew the war was far from over. The Drexer would regroup and return, and they had to be ready. Captain Drake stood on the bridge of the Starfire, gazing out into the vastness of space. We've taken a step forward today, but we must keep moving. The future of humanity depends on our strength and resilience. The crew nodded in agreement, ready for whatever lay ahead. They had proven their mettle, and they were prepared to face the next challenge with unwavering determination. The final stand. A dire warning. Despite the recent victories, the Drexar were far from defeated. Intelligence reports indicated that they were planning a final, all-out assault on Earth itself. The threat was imminent, and the stakes had never been higher. Preparing for the last battle, Admiral Graves coordinated the defense efforts. This is it, people. The Drexar are throwing everything they have at us. Every ship, every soldier must be ready. Captain Drake, the Starfire will be at the forefront of our defense. Drake acknowledged the orders. Understood, Admiral. We'll give them everything we've got. The calm before the storm. On the Starfire, the crew worked tirelessly to prepare for the impending battle. New defensive measures were installed, and the ship's systems were fine-tuned for maximum efficiency. Captain Drake addressed her crew, instilling confidence and determination. We've faced the Drexer before and emerged victorious. This time, we'll show them that we're even stronger. Trust in our training, our technology, and each other. The arrival. The Drexer fleet emerged from warp, a massive force that filled the view screen. Admiral Graves communicated with the fleet. All ships, engage the enemy. Hold the line at all costs. The Starfire's weapons lit up, and the battle began in earnest. The void of space was filled with the exchange of laser fire, railgun projectiles, and explosions. The human and allied ships fought with determination and precision. The final stand. Captain Drake's strategic brilliance shone through. Focus on their lead ships, disrupt their formation, and create openings for our counterattacks. The Starfire and its allies executed the plan flawlessly, targeting the Drexar command ships and causing chaos in their ranks. Despite being outnumbered, their superior tactics and technology began to turn the tide. A critical moment. Amidst the chaos, a Drexar dreadnought began a flanking maneuver, threatening to break through the human lines. Drake saw the danger and acted quickly. Patel, target that dreadnought. We can't let them break our formation. The Starfire's weapons focused on the dreadnought, engaging in a fierce battle. The ship shuddered under the impact of the Drexar's heavy fire, but its shields held firm. The concentrated attack soon breached the dreadnought's defenses, causing a series of explosions that crippled the massive vessel. Rallying the troops. With the dreadnought neutralized, the human and allied forces regained their momentum. Admiral Graves's voice came over the comms. Excellent work, Starfire. All ships pressed the attack. The coordinated assault pushed the Drexar fleet back, their formation breaking under the relentless onslaught. The battle raged on, but the tide was turning in favor of humanity and their allies. Victory and loss. After hours of intense combat, the Drexar fleet began to retreat. The combined efforts of the human and allied ships had proven too much for them. Cheers erupted across the Starfire as the last of the Drexar ships fled into the darkness of space. Assessing the aftermath, Captain Drake surveyed the damage. Status report. Patel. Shields are holding at 50%, minor damage to the hull, and casualties are light. We did it, Captain. Drake nodded, feeling a mix of relief and exhaustion. Good work, everyone. Begin recovery operations and prepare a report for Admiral Graves. A message of hope. In a broadcast to all ships, Admiral Graves spoke. Today, we've faced a formidable enemy and emerged victorious. But this is just one battle in a larger war. We must remain vigilant and ready. Together, we will continue to stand against any threat and protect our home. Captain Drake looked out into the vast expanse of space, her resolve stronger than ever. We've proven our strength today, but the fight continues. We'll face whatever comes next with courage and determination. The crew echoed her sentiment, ready to face the challenges ahead. The battle for survival would continue, but they were prepared, united, and determined to protect their future.